Hi there, welcome to this class on Fullstack Web Development. My name is Harshit and I am an instructor for this class. This class will teach you front-end and back-end web development at beginner and moderate level. With the skills learned in this class, you can create your own web pages by writing scripts in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP. You will learn creating HTML list, table, hyperlink, HTML frames, HTML forms, event handling, form validations, operators, conditionals, and various other concepts in JavaScript. You will also learn PHP and SQL scripting in this course, such as get and post functions and much more. So if you are curious to learn web development skills, start learning right now. See you in the class. Hi friend, welcome to this part. Here we are going to learn HTML. If you are already familiar with HTML and develop certain stuff using HTML, you can skip this section. Otherwise, if you feel that you need to know or enhance your development skills using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you may continue this section. So let's start. There are a few definitions. HTML is a markup language that is used to format text and graphics on a web page. Web page is the most fundamental part of a website or Chrome extension. A web page is a usual thing um, that is defined with HTML, and we can further enhance this HTML with presentation logic using CSS and programming logic with JavaScript. So browser is a software that contains a rendering engine. Rendering engine is something that takes input as HTML page and converts it to the stuff that we generally see. So HTML page generally contains extension with .htm or .html suffix. Tags. HTML contains tags. Tags are usually paired. They are they contains a beginning tag and a closing tag, and between those two tags, beginning and closing tag, there lies the information that is used to be displayed. For example, here if we need to set our title with my web page, so we need to place two title tags, one at beginning and then at end of our string or a sequence of characters. The closing tag uh, starts with dot slash with the same name as the opening tag. One thing to note here is that tags in HTML are not case sensitive. We can either use complete capital characters or complete small or a mixture of both. All are all three are supported. So move on. This is a simple HTML page. How it looks like. We need to define HTML at beginning, at top, and close with HTML. We can have a head section, heading section, or body section, and heading section may contains headings, title, meta tags, and other stuff. The body section may contain images or scripts or paragraphs or various other things. So move on. This is a simple format for HTML colors. The color used in HTML are of three fundamental codes: red, green, and blue. All other colors are generally a combination of these three, some of the proportion of red, some proportion of blue, some proportion of green. So all colors are defined with them, and they are defined using codes from 0 to 225, as we will see later. Uh, this is the stuff. It is encoded in hexadecimal. We can see here Imagine red, blue, and green be the axis of three coordinates. If we mark them, join them using a coordinate geometry, uh, the origin of these three axes would be the black color encoded as 000. The unit place would be occupied with white with 111. Yellow may contain uh, one value for green, one value for red, but zero value for blue. So on. We can have any intermediate values. This is the way of defining it. Then comes heading section. Heading may contain some kinds of stuff ranging from H1 to H6. H1 is the biggest thing. You can see here. Whatever we write in H1 tag, type 1 heading, that seems to be largest among all other heading tags. The heading 2 is quite a bit small in size. Similarly goes till 6, heading 6. These are supported with HTML5, the most latest version of HTML. Then we can use paragraph tags. Paragraph tags allow us to write text in a document that will automatically adjust to the end of line of window size of the browser. For example, if we pass a sentence with 500 words, it may do not go out of the screen as we see in the notepad, but it will automatically adjust according to the screen and move to next line. If we want to move to next line automatically or manually, we may use break tag in between. As you can see here, the break tag changes line. Break tag does not have a closing tag. We just need to write BER where we intend to break our line. Then is a horizontal rule. Does not very common these days. Then any tag may contain attributes. Attribute could be size, width, alignment, ID, and various other stuff. So let's see with an example how to create an HTML page. Just move anywhere, create new text document, name it anything like beta, open it, just simply write HTML at top and closing tag. Here let me suppose I write H1. Hi. So this is simple formatting. We can use head section and body section. This is completely optional. Save it with .html extension. .html. This is simple. It's got here. Just double click on it to view what our stuff is. So this is, as you can see, hi, I'm Harshit, is was defined in H1 type of heading, so it is largest, and namaste is in between, and goodbye is the smallest. We can align them in center, move further. So, so let us continue. We can have bold, italic, and other character formatting elements like we are using in MS Word and other stuff. We can use B for bold, I for italic, U for underline. We can set attributes like this. Um, Within a tag, we can set an attribute and its value enclosed in double quotes. Then we are having a strong and emphasis tag that displays at bold. We can set this stuff like here. We have alignment tag, like if we want to align our text at the left side, right side, or center. Let's check this out with our working example. Edit. Okay, where it is. Okay, it's not here. Let's edit this. Let us first add attribute to this paragraph tag. For example, align equals to center. Then save this and double click on this. As you can see, goodbye is now appearing in center. Our attribute is working. Similarly, we can add other stuff like font color equals to, you can simply write blue or any code for that thing. Font. So it should work. So now goodbye is in blue color. Similarly, we can add mark you. This is a Japanese word for sayonara, for goodbye. We can make this text appear moving and animate it. So this is mark you. This is actually horizontal mark you that we are having this. This is sayonara moving from left to right, right to left on screen. If we like, we can add a strip over here. Let us add background color. So bg color equals to, let's take yellow. So it is appearing a similar way. So let us explore some more stuff. Like we are using alignment tag, we can have a division tag. That is a logical entity uh, that provide division in a document and contains other element types. We are using it later with CSS. Then comes the table tag. It is most important thing if we want to arrange our data in tabular form. We will see it later. So this is end of part 1 of HTML. Meet you again. Keep learning. We will developing other stuff with hyperlink and exploring forms and other things in the coming videos. So keep watching. Hi guys, welcome back. This is part 2 of the series for HTML. So we are moving ahead. So let's start with special characters and symbols. What if you have to write a special character like a dollar sign, hash sign, at the rate, exclamation mark, or any other sequence uh, into an HTML formatted data? So we can use certain escape sequences that are predefined in W3 solutions. So here are a few. If we have to use ampersand symbol, we have to use entity value that is uh, ampersand amp semicolon. It starts with ampersand symbol and ends with semicolon, and the entity name is between this thing. So if we have to write asterisk, uh, we need to write just ampersand low ast a semicolon. For send symbol, for copyright, so we can use this thing. We simply need to write this in text, where we are writing our text in paragraph tag or heading tag anywhere. There is additional character formatting elements that includes strike, big, small, subscript and superscript. Superscript like x square, yeah, to denote mathematical notations like x to the x raised to the power of 2. So we can write it with having this sup tag. We simply need to write x in paragraph tag, then use a sub tag for superscript and then place 2 in superscript tag. I will show you. Similarly, subscript can be written like a chemical formula H2O, so on. Then move to strings. Lists are very important function in HTML. One of the major component. We can have unordered list or ordered list. Ordered list conveys us with the meaning that the list contained would be ordered. Like it can be written like Roman number 1, 2, 3, 4, or American characters with A, B, C, D. The first list element goes with A, second with B, third with C, then so on. So UL means unordered list, LI means list item. We can place this in the way it would appear with us in this format. Unordered list be contained with a circle, may contain a dot and other characters. It could contain a square. So this is a type. There are three types of bullets. Bullets means symbols that occurs the disk, circle and square. You need to simply write UL unordered list, the attribute type and its value square. Then we have ordered list. Ordered list contains numbered elements like this 1, 2, 3 for certain items in the list. Then there are list elements. Order list may contain Arabic numbers like 1, 2, 3 that we use. Then it may contain lower alphabet, upper alphabet, lower Roman characters, upper Roman characters, and so on. Then we have to simply just write in the value of type equals to 1 a first value of that thing as we have written in this. In place of a square we need to write 1 or small a, capital A, or this thing. We can have nesting of list. It is simple, not very typical job. Just simply place your list in the list item tag. We can include images as well. Images are very basic source of graphics. There are certainly very few web pages that do not contain any image at all. Even icon or any symbol is an image. Image is very useful. It needs to be declared with src tag. There is an alternate value alt that is used as a text. If string is actually if image is not available or could not be loaded on a web page, the alt tag will define what text should be displayed if image could not be loaded. For example, if we have placed a map of USA in our web page and if it could not load for any reason, we can program our image tag in a manner that it could display the US flag needs to be here, but sorry, it could not be loaded. So there could be various properties of image tag: width, height, border, horizontal space, vertical space. Horizontal means space on both sides of the image in pixels, and vertical space on top and bottom. We can arrange our image by providing h space value and v space value. We can place our image in center. As previously I have told you that we can use alignment operator. In place of alignment, we can define h space and v space, because in v space and h space we can align a certain value, provide a numerical value from, like example, 2 centimeter 2 pixels from left and 8 pixels from right. So let's move on. So this is the syntax of image tag. If we want to load a simple image, for example jordan.gif or jpg or png, anything, we can include img, then attribute src, then under quotes the value of image. If we are loading with our directory, local directory, we must provide the path. If we are loading from web, we must provide the url for that image. This is a way of defining alternate tag attribute, then width, height, h space, v space, and so on. It is very useful. So there's another thing, the hyperlink. So let us move to hyperlink. After completing this simple conceptual part, we would be having practical session. So we will test our script later. So don't worry. Just simply grab the topics. There is a very important thing we are using in HTML, that is hyperlink. Hyperlink is something that is used to redirect you to any link. For example, if you are on a page and you move to another page or another section of that particular page. For example, you have used Wikipedia or any other site. If you are surfing the page like India, then you may click on Asia. Then that clicking action may lead you to another page that is Asia. Also, you might have seen certain buttons or a link that on clicking on which link you may move to bottom or top of the page. So that is a part of link, hyperlink. Here is a syntax for defining a link. We are using anchor tag a, which is denoted with a, and hyper reference or href, and here goes the url. So, and here is the thing, HERE in red color. This is something which appears on your screen, clicking on which this link opens up. A link can be standard link, visited link, or active link. So we can demonstrate with link, vlink, alink if program wants to change the color. Internal links are something that is used to move to certain section of the document. We can create a link using two things. If we want to move to certain section, we need to define the section a name. Here a name is bookmark name. Then from where we want to move to that link, just simply define anchor tag href, then hash symbol and the name of that entity. You will certainly move to that section. We can use email, but it is not generally used. Then we may try table. So before moving to tables, let us check out previous things. uh, this nesting of list. So I'm just copying this thing which I have written. Here just simply create a new file, new text document, name is list, then edit and paste this thing. Don't forget to write HTML on top because it won't get displayed until you write HTML. Just provide some spacing in between. So let us save this as .html list.html. Here it is. Just click on this. Here the list gets displayed. It is, as you can see, this section is ordered list and this is unordered list. We are using nesting of list. So what was the code? The code contained square values and other stuff. ul li ol li. Just remember this thing. I'm just moving quickly so we can complete this course earlier. If you want to take a pause in between, you can take pause and write the code. Don't worry, I will provide you the code. Similarly, we can use image tag. If you want to display an image for a certain height space. So now simply move to tables. You might have created a table using MS Word or OpenOffice. So with HTML, we can simply create a table with 3 or 4 important tags. So what are they? You just simply need to write table on the top, then row wise and column wise. TR is the row, TH is the heading of the row, and TD is the table data. And caption can be placed on top or bottom of the list to demonstrate what it is. So let's check out an example. Here this is a table. It has got 2 headings and 3 rows. So let's check this example. Just simply copy this code. We're just simply replacing this code with new table 1. It gets displayed like this. It has got a border. Let's compare it with the code. So here we are using border value 1. So it has got a border with 1 value. Then there are 2 uh, headings. There's 2 columns actually and 3 rows. So row 1 column 1, row 1 column 2, so on. This is table. The default content of heading is bold, but we can change this format, change the color, then we can add cell spacing and cell padding. We will learn later. So what does table got? A table can have cell spacing. Cell spacing represents the space between the cells, the between two cells. So let me show you something. Cell spacing is something that is between these two cells or these two cells. ठीक? Okay. And cell padding is space between text in a cell and its boundary. A cell is a square entity that is single row or single column. We can assign this cell padding and cell spacing using the simple attribute on the table tag. Similarly, we have column span, row span. Row span is used to provide row size, and column span the column size. V align and A align means horizontal vertical alignment. Data can have top, middle, or bottom alignment. Well, data can, in this demonstration, data is actually left aligned. As you can see, we can align it to right, top, or bottom, anywhere. Interesting, the basic table code. This is simple, nothing complicated. We can change the background color, font color, and various other things. So just keep it simple. So this is end of part 2. Meet you again. We are going to complete HTML in a fast track manner. And then we would develop our stuff. So thank you. Hello friend, welcome back. This is part 3 of the HTML series. Here our objective is to learn about frames, HTML frames. So let's start. So what is a frame? Frame is actually a combination of multiple HTML pages represented on a single screen. So we are displaying multiple web pages on a single web page. So how it works? Take example. Here we have defined two different HTML pages, doc1.html and doc2.html, and we have defined a third HTML page that is named as frames.html, and it consists of these two HTML pages displayed on a single screen. So how can we do this? We can make a frame set object in frames.html where both other pages are to be displayed, and associate a frame object to each of those HTML page. So a frame set describes the amount of screen size divided screens into rows or columns. It can be row wise or column wise. Here we are arranging our thing in column wise. So we can arrange it similar way. As you can see, a frame tag can be placed inside title, head, or any other tag. It is just placed above body tag. It could not be placed in body tag, and it defines in the manner that frame set is the first tag and the frame tag are between them. So we can define frame in similar manner. We can associate with a percentage proportion, like we can split our single page into multi-size pages. We can split into 4, 3, 2, 1, and not all need to be equal in size. We can define proportion. Here it is dividing it into column wise with 23% to first frame, first document, and 77 to other. So let's see how it can be defined in other ways. It can be defined in three possible manners, either in pixel format, percentage, or proportion. Like we can give a proportion of first element and uh, put asterisk on other, the remaining. It would calculate automatically. Similarly, we can define multiple values at a time, absolute pixel units, percentage of screen, proportion with. We can arrange in both column or row wise or a combination of both. There are multiple more stuff: frame border, frame spacing, border, and frame color tags. We can use that. We can use src, name, margin height, scrolling. Scrolling, if we set scrolling to yes, then the scroll bars would appear. If the page we are using contains text that could not be displayed on the screen size, that means it go to overflow. uh, then we can use scroll bars. If it is auto, browser will decide. If it is no, scroll bar will not be displayed. No resize prevents viewers from resizing the frame. If we want our frame to be displayed on the size we have defined explicitly using a program, we can set it with no resize tag. The user could not resize them. There is one more thing, iframe, that you mostly see when you click on an ad. The ads are types of iframes. That is a variant of frame. So no frames are, there's another tag, no frame, that is capable. Browser ignores all HTML within this tag, including contents of body and element. The browser ignores all the HTML within this tag and displays that is it. A compound frame set division could consist of uh, a mixture of column wise or row wise division. For example, here we are using three different frames: a banner file, link file, content file. A typical example of a frame is Wikipedia. Wikipedia uses frame. The frames can be divided row wise. As you can see, row comes from top to bottom, so it is divided in 50-50% manner. Similarly, we can have column wise division that goes from left to right. Then we can have a combination of both, 50-50% row wise, 50-50% column wise, creates four boxes, looks like a window. Similarly, we can do more stuff. We can create two rows, and in first row we can create three columns, and in second row we can create one or four column. Anyway, any combination you can set. It is not difficult. Similarly, we can this is the way we have to attach our HTML file to a certain frame. We can define no resize, scrolling, and other stuff. One more important thing, this is target. So uh, if it is similar to hyperlink, but it is actually an attribute of hyperlink tag, anchor tag. And when you use links for use in frames environment, you will need to specify additional attribute, that is target. The additional attribute shows us can locate or pointer where we want to target our thing. Take an example of this thing. For example, this is our page. Here we have created three links for chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. This is currently displayed on our screen. If a user needs to click on chapter 1, it would redirect to uh, this own page. it will target the self. If he clicks on chapter 2, that may target other screen or other window or other frame. So we can do this. There are certain properties: blank, self, parent, top, and other things. We can point to bottom and explicitly target to any other frame. This tag allows you to specify the frame into which a page is to be loaded into a frame setting where a page need to be loaded. So this is the end of part 3. Keep learning. We will meet you again. We will do more stuff with JavaScript, CSS, and one more video to come for HTML. I have associated a zip file for the source code in later videos, and provided PPTs for these HTML slides so you can practice better. So thank you. Meet you again. Hi there, welcome back. This is part 4 of the series of HTML. So here we are going to learn about HTML forms, the most important stuff that we require with HTML. If you want to submit a form with information and store it at remote location or fetch some information, it is most uh, first thing to come to your mind and appear on your screen. So let's start with the HTML form. It is simple. It consists of a form tag and every other thing in between. It is used to submit, to retrieve thing. So how it appears? Let's see it. So this is a typical HTML form. Here we are using and various thing: radio box, checkbox, option, select options, uh, an edit text, and a text field to name thing. Here we can write or name, phone number, student ID, and various other things. Select from cities, check, and radio button. Similarly, we can use toggle button and various other things. So here are two buttons: submit and reset. Reset is used to reset these values to the default value or empty, and submit is used to submit this page and or information to any other script, that is server side script, that can be CGI, PHP, JSP, ASP, anything. There comes one more thing: placeholder. Placeholder are text that appear in background before you type on thing. For example, if might have seen this, uh, like Andrew Simon's here written is gray in color and does not is not actually typed, but it appears. If you start typing, it disappears. So uh, here our objective is to create an HTML form. So how we can create this? Let's see it. First, simply place a form tag, and form may lead to any action attribute that leads to any server side script like ASP, GSP, other thing. Here this is. Then we can add a paragraph tag that may include input type. There are various types of input like text input, button, or radio input, or checkbox. So we can explicitly define it. We can assign certain name for to just simply identify and assign a value. So let's explore more. So what is action? Action leads to any server side script. Method can be of two types: get or post. Post is used for explicitly form submission. Get is actually less encrypted and post is more encrypted. Get is used to submit values, and it is displayed in the URL domain name, that is called as query string. And post does not use query string. It is hidden and somewhat encrypted, more secure than get. Then target is a target frame where the response page will show up. The form elements can have properties like text box, password box, checkbox, radio, that is option, submit button, reset button, hidden and images, other thing. So there's one more thing. What is the difference between text box and password box? Text box, when you type in some certain thing in a text box, like your name, it get displayed to the user. But if you type password, it does not get displayed to the user. A simple dot symbol or hashes are displayed. So we can check this out. So this is a typical scenario. This is above one is text box and lower one is password box. So text box is like this. It has attributes like type, size, maximum length, name, value. Type is text. Size can be size of text box. That can be in characters. For example, it is set to default 20 characters. Maximum length is maximum number of characters. Name of the variable, and value that is displayed the default value if you do not type that thing anything. So we can check this script. So let us check it out. Simple form. I'm just copying this script. Create new file, text file. Let's name it trial form.html. Yes, edit this. Paste script. Do not forget to place HTML on the top. HTML bottom. Save this. Just double click on this. So this is our typical HTML form. Here we have four text boxes to input the number. So let's move on. Here we have used four text boxes, assigned different names to identify this thing, assigned various size and maximum length, and nothing more than that. It is simple. We are using get method and action is the URL script. Similarly, there is another thing that is hidden, that is used to store any value that need not to display to the user. A password and a hidden field are different. Password fields are displayed the size of we can identify the size of the string, but hidden we cannot identify the size of the string. So checkbox have four attributes: type, check, name, and value. Checked attribute can have checked value or unchecked. So this is simple stuff. How it looks. For example, if we are making a checkbox of three elements, a user can check either of one, two of them, or all of them. But in radio, we can select only one. This is the difference between checkbox and radio box. Rest everything is same. This is the method to identify whether checked or unchecked. We can explicitly set the default value. We can have the push button. Push button actually a simple button other than submit or other thing. Actually submit and reset are predefined. buttons. Submit button is used to just submit the form data to the target link server side script. So this is typical thing. The reset button is used to reset the values. We can similarly add a file upload button value. So this is used as file type file. We can upload anything. It has attributes named type, size, name, and maximum length. Then we can have text area that may have a scroll down option and more than a free form of writing. So let us move to other form elements. One of them is select. Select is the most common element that is used to select from a given list of elements. It can have following attributes: name, size, multiple. So let's see how it looks. For example, if we want to select a list of cities, we can provide options and the user can select any of them. So we can define it with select and then option. Select is the name of the list which can contain various options. Then there is a drop down list that is similar to select but can contain elements with a drop down list. It need to be to have size greater than 1. We can also have a certain value as selected by default. Then we can have a complicated form which can contain of multiple buttons, combination of checkboxes, file upload, hidden, password, radio, text box, text area, reset object, select object, submit button, various things. So we know how to make form. I have provided the PPT of this HTML slides. You can download it and practice on your own. Then you can enhance your HTML script, HTML knowledge. Then it is vital for web development and Chrome extension development. So this is end of part 4. Keep learning. Thank you. Hi everyone, welcome back. After exploring HTML, we are here to further enhance our HTML page with CSS. So CSS is cascading style sheet that provides a better look and enhance its presentation either with external file or internally within HTML page. So what is CSS? Let us explore. CSS is style sheet language. It defines how to display HTML elements. It does not uh, infer to the concept of what to display. That is the responsibility of HTML. But how it displays. For example, if we want to say hello, so how does that word hello appears on the screen? It could be bold, italic, black color, blue color, or any font or any size. That is governed by CSS. However, we can do with this with HTML, but separating that presentation logic from styling thing needs to be very useful. So let us explore. So CSS syntax consists of selector and declaration. Selector points to the HTML element which you want to style, the HTML element or tag of HTML, for example, table, paragraph tag, or any other tag. Declaration is the definition of that tag, the style of which you want to decorate it. That is CSS thing. So this is a typical syntax for CSS. Here h1 is selector. It could contain ID or class as well. And this is declaration, CSS declaration. As you can see here, we have defined the heading tag and set this color to blue and font size to 12 points, 12 pixels. So we can define it this way. So these are various examples where we are modifying, where we must need to close within parenthesis tag, and these are certain things. We can define background image, alignment, font family, and various other things. In these examples, here we are directly using the tag. But what happens if you want to, if your page contains multiple paragraph tag and you want to decorate a certain paragraph tag, not everyone. So there needs arises a concept of ID and class. So there are two things, ID or class. An ID selector is accessed in CSS using the hash, and a class selector is accessed using period or dot. So here this is simple thing. This is the method to define ID. Here we have three paragraph tags and we have assigned an ID to any one of them. We can assign various IDs to any number of paragraph tags or any other tags, and we are decorating that paragraph tag. Here this style is common to all, but we can define it uniquely. This is the way. If we define hash and name of the paragraph tag, the ID, then this is applicable only to this paragraph tag, not to other paragraph tags. It is very important thing. Similarly, we can have class. It works similar to ID, but the difference is we have to use dot in place of hash. Then there could be various things. There are three ways to insert CSS with HTML. One way is to use internal style sheet, then another external, then inline. Inline is the statement when we want to use a CSS within a certain tag in the HTML form. Internal is a section of the HTML page where we are using CSS, and external is a external CSS file where which is common to any number of HTML pages. So we will explore it more. We use internal style sheet in the head section of the HTML page. When a single document has unique style, then this is useful. It is defined within the style tag. We place a style tag and use it. But for inline, we do not need style tag. The external style sheet is useful when style is applied to many pages. For example, if you want to develop your own website or extension, you may have multiple web pages, for example 10, and you want to design them with same design, same style. So it is better to define a CSS file, separate CSS file, and link that CSS file to all the HTML pages. The style would be common, but data would be different. It would be more beneficial as it takes less memory space on your computer, and the page loads faster than rest other pages. So it is very useful thing. External. So this is a method. Simply just write your CSS thing and save it to any name.css. Then external, simple. How to link that external style sheet. Then use link tag and type CSS, and in the hyper reference place that thing. Inline CSS is simple thing. Just simply use the style attribute and In double quotes, pass the properties, CSS properties, in any tag. That as the style attribute to a relevant tag. Style attribute can contain any CSS property, but it works only for a specified tag at that line only. There is an order for CSS to be executed. If there are three contradictory different CSS styles for a certain similar common tag, then what would be the order, preference order, where the CSS is applied? If inline style is there, it would be highest priority. If there is internal style, it would be more prior than external, and the external style sheet is given least priority. The browser default priority is the lowest, so remember this thing. We can set background properties like background color, background repeat, background image, various things. Then we can have background images, we can have shorthand properties, and similarly we can have this thing. So we have done with CSS. We can implement that. Just copy the code and compile. I have provided you the PPT. CSS is simple but not very vital. It is simple as and complementary thing with HTML. Later we will learn JavaScript, which would be more beneficial. It would provide more logical support of and more command over your website or extension. So this is the end of CSS. Keep learning. Meet you again. Thank you. Hi friend, welcome to JavaScript series. Here we are going to learn JavaScript and perform various operations using JavaScript and learn how to use the concepts of JavaScript in our code. We are done with HTML and CSS. So let's start. So what is JavaScript? Browser or simply HTML and CSS pages have limited functionalities like text, image, table, frames. They can display only that thing and decorate that thing. But JavaScript allows interactivity. It allows page manipulation or browser manipulation. It is based on event handling or react to user actions. If a user clicks on certain thing, it produces certain response. It provides form validation capability, like if we are typing a name, uh, filling up name value in a form, then we should not type numbers. It would validate whether we are typing alphabet or numbers. It is a type of programming language. It is object based language. It is easy to learn, not very difficult to like Java, but it is far more complicated than HTML or CSS. It is a programming language. It has lots of functionalities. So let us start. So what is JavaScript? JavaScript is different from PHP and other server-side scripts that works on server side. However, JavaScript could work like with Node.js on server side, but that is not our objective. JavaScript at the basic level and at most of the use that is used for JavaScript is used to perform logical and use programming logic on the client side. Client side means on your computer. If you are viewing any website and you are performing any logical operation that needs a programming logic, that is governed with JavaScript and runs on your browser. If you download an extension that contains the codes on your browser, that runs on your browser, that do not need any server support directly. And any website that uses HTML form validation, and various other things like time clock or visitor counter, that works on client side, not server side. It works with server side. It is very useful and used with most of the websites in present scenario. So how JavaScript allows interactivity? JavaScript improves appearance. It has better GUI than simple HTML. It is combined with various technologies to work as a framework. It provides site navigation, perform calculations, validation of input, and other technologies. It is embedded within HTML page simply like CSS. JavaScript get embedded in an HTML page. We are using a script tag. We will explore it later. It is executed on client side, fast, no connection needed once loaded. When a page is loaded, we do not need a direct connection with server. It is simple programming statement combined with HTML tags. It is interpreted, not compiled. Interpreter works by converting or executing the code line by line. First line is executed first, the second line, the third line, the fourth line. In a compiler, entire script is run executed once at a time. So no special tools are required. Java, as you might have seen, you might have developed a misconception that JavaScript is a part of Java or something related with Java. There is nothing related with Java with JavaScript. Both are independent thing. Both have different applications. Java is much harder. Java is full programming language that is object oriented. JavaScript is object based. JavaScript works on web. Java can work on anywhere. Java does not work on client side, but applet or some other things. No need to explore further. Just remember one thing, Java and JavaScript are different things. So moving further, this is simple JavaScript statement. Here we can define JavaScript with simple HTML tag, that is script tag. We don't need to write this language is equal to JavaScript, but we can define it. The programming logic comes between those script tags, opening script tag and closing script tag. We have to declare the JavaScript. If we are using external JavaScript.js file, then we have to declare it in head section and perform it logic on body section or another thing. As you can see, this is the symbol for line continuation, but it is not generally used. So move further. Similarly, we can pass HTML code with our HTML tag in a JavaScript. This simple script works with this statement, document.write. Just print this thing, whatever is enclosed within this code. Here it is printing that heading. There is further more functionality with JavaScript. This is a JavaScript functionality that uses on mouse over event and then prints window.alert. Alert works where hello, as you can see, this is the output. When a user clicks on my page, then this appears. It is actually a hyperlink. So there are various pop-up boxes in JavaScript. One is alert box, other is confirm box, then there is prompt box. So what are they? Alert box is often used when you want to make sure information comes through the user. They simply alert the user, comes to the screen, the pop-up. And when you click OK, then you can proceed. Like you can print, are you sure? Then the user clicks on OK, then further goes on. The confirm box. Confirm box is used to ask whether you want to do this thing or no. It is a logical thing, yes or no. It can be provided input like OK or cancel. If a user clicks on OK, the box returns true, the boolean value, and if it user clicks on cancel, the box returns false value. Similarly, you can change any value. You could change with yes or no or any other thing. So there is a prompt box. that is used if you want the user to input a value before entering a page. You can enter a value, then you can press OK. It could ask your name, anything. So here is a simple way to write a prompt box. Then this is typical example that appears on the user screen, window.prompt. Here it asks the user to enter your name. When you write your name and hit uh, submit or OK, then it proceeds further. Here the value is press. When you click on press button after writing your name, then it would proceed further. Without it, it won't proceed. Then we can use HTML forms with JavaScript. Simply, this is an example of form that is displayed using HTML. It is simply using HTML form property, input values name, and providing name identifier. Then we can assign a corresponding JavaScript for that thing. So this is the order of using this thing. The name or identifier of that thing, address form here. Here for example, the identifier was for the name field is your name. So we need to write document dot your name dot document dot form name, then your name. Here the form name is address form and your name is the name value. Document dot address form dot your name. Similarly, we can provide document dot address form dot phone, then dot value. Then we can use certain operation like validating it with @ symbol or another thing. An email has a property like it requires an @ symbol in between. So keep on moving. This is a simple thing using form data. We are using window.alert. This is alert form. When you enter your name and press go, then this thing appear on your screen. That's this alert box. We can define it simply. Let's check this out. Just copy this code. Create an HTML file. a.html. Save as with .html file. What has happened? This is not overriding. Edit. Just change this name. As it appears, we have to pass anything like Harshit, my name. Then I will click on go. So JavaScript is blocked here. It won't work, but a prompt may need to appear here. So this is a simple demonstration. So moving further, this is the end of part 1. We will explore later with JavaScript and perform various validation and explore event handling and other stuff. So keep learning. We'll meet you again. Thank you. Hi friends, welcome back. This is part 2 of the JavaScript Jumpstart series. Here we are going to learn operators, various kinds of operators in JavaScript, like conditional, arithmetic, logical, and various others. So let's start. JavaScript operators. The first to come is arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators can be addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, increment, or decrement. You might have known addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, but this might be a new thing to you, modulus. Modulus is the division remainder after division. So if we have to take 5 modulus 2, then the answer would be 1, because on dividing 5 with 2, the remainder is 1. Similarly, you can check this out. Increment just simply adds 1 to the value. So if x is equals to 5, then x plus will be 6. Similarly, decrement is opposite to increment. Then comes assignment operators. Assignment is passing the value x equals to y, means right side of the value is same as left side. We are assigning right side value to left. If x equals to nothing and y equals to 4, then x is also equals to 4. We are assigning value 4 to x. Plus equals to means x equals to x plus y. This is sort notation. Similarly, rest others. Comparison operators. Double equals means to compare either these two are equal. Let's say x equals to 5 and y equals to 8. If x double equals to y returns true, then both needs to be equal. X and y both needs to be 5, 4 or 1, a symbol value. Here 5 is not equals to 8, hence it returns false. Similarly, triple equals to means it would check the value as well as type. Like type can be int, float, char. Both data values must be of same type. Similarly, not equals to, greater than equals to, less than equals to, and so on. Logical operators. Logical operators can be and or not. And if both conditions are satisfied on either side of the double and ampersand symbol, then it returns true. Similarly for all, and then for not. Here comes an example for JavaScript. This is an arithmetic operation. It is simple and printing the value in alert tag. Then there is an additional. We are using document.write function. Then there could be conditional statements, that is if, else, else if, switch, case, various other things. If is executed when a specific condition is true, else if for any other condition other than if, and else if all the given conditions fail. Switch provides various cases for which any case can be true. This is an example of conditional statement, if else. Here as x equals to 3, then if x is smaller than 0 is not executed, and else 1 is executed, and the printed output will be positive. Similarly, we can check this one also, then this one also. So this is the end of part 2. We'll meet you again. Keep learning. JavaScript is really fantastic. We can build various complicated and highly functional applications with JavaScript. Think around everything around you, uh, all the technologies from your smartphones to your desktop applications are governed with programs that programming language, programming logic, and JavaScript provides you functionality to implement those programming logic with wide variety of applications. So keep learning. We will meet you again in next video. Thank you. Hi friend, welcome back to part 3rd of the JavaScript series. Here we are going to learn about event handling. So let's start. So what is event handling? Uh, Imagine a case where a ninja throws various weapons on you with very rapid speed. This is a typical event a ninja is generating. A ninja can uh, can throw a key press, a click, a mouse over, and onload events. And the person who is supposed to catch these events is the JavaScript for your uh, handling the events and do certain response for any event that occurred. And who is Ninja? The Ninja is a typical user who uses a website or browser to click or perform any event. An event could be a mouse left click, a right click, double click, any key press, or in Android phone, it could be rotation, orientation, or voice input, and various other things. So JavaScript is supposed to understand all these events and perform the required operation. So moving further, how it understands it and what are the events. So these are different event handlers that could be on change or the value of the text field, the area or drop down list is modified. This is on change event. On click, when you click on a link, an image or form of element that is clicked once. On double click, when element is double clicked. On mouse over, when a user puts his mouse on certain area. On load, when a document or image is loaded. On submit, when user submits a form. On reset, on unload, on resize, various events. So move ahead. So these are various kinds of event that could be generated, and this is the way how you can represent it in the JavaScript. These are predefined. So what is the way a language interacts with an event? When a user interacts with a page, like click on a button, then an event occurs, then a piece of JavaScript code runs in response for that event. The component of the JavaScript that catches this event is the event listener, and it performs certain operation and modifies your page. So this is the scenario of event handling. So how it occurs, how we can use it. So here this is an example of on submit event handler. This is simple HTML page and this is JavaScript tag. Here we are creating a method or function called validate. In the body tag of the HTML page, we are having a form which is performing an action, message board, using method post and performs the and when on submit is performed. On submit means when a user submits the form, then it returns the method validate. It calls that method and the output generated through this method is returned to the user. So this is a simple way of defining. Here you can replace return with any simple method or any value and call this method simply. If on submit event handle returns false, then data is not submitted. If it returns true, then data is submitted. Similarly, there could be another example. Here we are using canvas and adding event listener to the canvas like mouse down and various other things. We have generated a mouse down function to catch this event, and for this event we have to modify our canvas, the dimension or various other thing. The canvas would be width, height, would contain width and height, and is the performing the onload operation for initialize method that is written in JavaScript. So this is simple example. So there could be other example like mouse rollover, mouse out, when you put your cursor on certain image and pull out the size of image or the image may change. We can define it. That is not a typical stage thing. You might have seen various images where when you place your mouse, the size of image get increased. Actually, it does not increase. You it seems to be like that the size of image has been increased. Actually, when you did not uh, have your cursor pointing to that image, that image size would be, for example, both image have the same image, but size differs. When mouse is not there, the lower size image is used to display. When you place your mouse, the lower size image is replaced with the larger sized image, and you see that when you again move your mouse backward, that image size changes. This is simple implementation, not very typical. So this is end of part 3. We have understood what is event handling. I provided that this PPT, so you can try this and you can develop your own event handling scenarios. So keep learning. Hi friend, welcome back. This is part 4 of the series for JavaScript. Here we are going to learn about form validation. So what is form validation? Uh, you have used HTML form over various time of space. Uh, you have created when you have created your email account or started anything or filled up any form online, then you might have faced this. If you leave a username field empty, then certain errors occur. This field is required. So what is it? If you write number in place of name, then there uh, an error called please enter the correct character occurs. So what it is? This is form validation. A form must be in valid form, valid order. A name must not contain numbers. This is a thing, and how we can define it? We can develop HTML form and develop the form, but to validate it, we need JavaScript. So how to do this? This is the objective of our current presentation. So let's move it. This is a typical JavaScript form validation script. So here a script function, a script under script tag, there is a method called check which uses input value, a value, and this is a regular expression for a. Like it must start with 0 to 9 or A to Z is smaller capital that could occur any number of time more than 1 or 1 and end with the same. This is the type of input value. If the value is of this type, it would print an alert box with success, otherwise fail. Let's check our test case. If our input is supposed to be 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, then it produces success. If our input is A@B, it will produce fail because symbol is not defined in A. It is actually performing logical operation or conditional operation on input value and checking the value that it should match A. Match is a predefined method of JavaScript, or we can further enhance this. Value is the name of the value is the name of the entity, and input value is the variable passed to this. This is actually the ID of that tag. So let's move further. So above one is the JavaScript section, lower one is the HTML section. Here we have defined in HTML a form, and it contains various fields including name, email, and various other stuff. We have provided a class for everything, for name, email, and we are performing operations on this form, validation operations, using this class name. So here, as you can see in JavaScript, there is a method named as validate form. It performs if operation, if condition, if when document dot get element by id. This is a method, predefined method, and it gets element by id, the id which is fname. So let's check this fname. Fname is the id for the first name. When this id is corresponding to empty, no value, then it will prompt an error to that is please provide your name. If it is not empty, it will return false and dodge this condition. Similarly, if the id email get element by id email has the value corresponding to empty space, then it will also again prompt an error alert, please provide your email. So it will ask you for an email. If you passed, the error will disappear. If you did not pass, the error will continue. So this is a simple conceptualization. You have to pass the id name in the JavaScript. That id name will need to be defined in HTML form. So move further. Let's check another example. This is a validation form for email. Similar to previous one, there's nothing different, but here we are using inner HTML method. Nothing more than that. There could be various other opportunities. We can also perform logical operations like or, and various other things. So this is a simple email verification script. This is very useful for any number of cases, anything. If you are developing an extension or a website, it is very vital. This is the power of JavaScript. So, end of part 4. We'll meet you again. Keep learning. Thank you. Hi there. So now we are moving towards server-side development with PHP, and here in this video we will explore what are the opportunities with PHP. So the first question that should arrive in our mind is why we are using PHP, why we should use PHP. So PHP is a very powerful language that is used to develop server-side web applications or websites to empower your applications that can incorporate any functionality or run code on server side. PHP has a very vast community of open source developers and various developers who would like to help you out in case you got into any trouble or some programming or framework related errors. It is open source, it is free of cost, it can work on various platforms, it is platform independent as compared to other languages. Some of them are platform dependent like Microsoft Active Server Pages ASP, which need to be run on Windows environment only. PHP can work with various databases, and it has lots of frameworks and content management systems developed with PHP. We can develop our applications either in a procedural manner or object oriented manner. PHP supports both kinds of development. If you want to develop with custom scripts, predefined generated custom scripts, you can go with any framework. These are a few PHP based frameworks that are very popular: Zen framework, Symfony, Cake PHP, CodeIgniter, Laravel, Vive framework. These are very popular frameworks of PHP. You can go with them for easy and fast track development. Then comes CMS or content management system that is typically used to manage complex applications like a blog, social networking site, or an e-commerce site. If you want to develop such thing and maintain a huge customer base or user base, and everyone can post his information or do various activities, You don't need to develop each PHP script or server-side language. You can incorporate the functionalities that are already developed with CMS. These are the three popular CMSs: WordPress, Joomla, and Drupal. These are developed with PHP, uh, and you can incorporate various frameworks and some technologies that can be incorporated in any manner, like Bootstrap for responsive web pages. You can go with that. It has a very uh, passive, very active growth history with MySQL. It has also increased over time. PHP provides you very functionality, a huge range of frameworks, CMS, and core PHP development. And you can also get e-commerce projects available like OpenCart or various other things. Magento, these are all developed with PHP. It is secure, it has various functionalities. PHP is cost efficient. If you are new to server side development, PHP is well and good for you. And just for a stat, more than 50 to 60% website currently running on net that has server side base is developed using PHP. Wikipedia, Facebook, all have been developed with PHP. So PHP is very powerful language if you use its power. It can be integrated with a huge range of databases like MySQL, Oracle, SQL Server, PostgreSQL to be a relational servers, relational databases, and NoSQL and NewSQL databases like MongoDB and MariaDB that can also be linked with PHP. So it has a very bright future, uh, a prosperous past history, and it is working on very high scale in present scenario. So this was a brief introduction of what PHP is and what is the potential of this language. In the coming videos, we will learn all the vital functionalities of PHP, the programming, and understand the concepts of each instances. If you are new to coding or any development, you would find it very useful for beginners. And if you are advanced for coder and or you have a glimpse over any other programming language, you would not find very much difficulty with PHP. Just a few differences in syntax and coding, nothing more than that. Welcome back. In the previous episode, we have explored opportunities with PHP and application areas including frameworks and content management systems with PHP. In this part, we will jump start with coding exercise. So a brief recap. PHP is server-side scripting language. It supports various databases like MySQL. It is open source. It is free to download and use. PHP is platform independent that can be deployed with Windows, Linux, Unix, various OS. It is compatible with almost all type of servers like web servers, Apache server, IIS, Nuggings, and various other things. PHP is easy to learn and runs efficiently on server side. This is a typical PHP script within an HTML. We can develop our PHP script in two manner. We can write PHP code within HTML or we can write entire PHP code independently. Here in this part we can place any PHP script with HTML. A PHP script simply begins with a arrow bracket, open arrow bracket, question mark, PHP. Then the code inside it and closing with question mark and closing arrow bracket or greater than sign. In this code of PHP just prints this string, hi, I am a PHP script. Echo means print, displaying a text on the screen which is placed within double quote and semicolon at end of line. PHP code is executed on the server side which generates HTML page. This script is run on server side, which generates the HTML page or this response. Client receives the result of the script but would not know the underlying code. This is the security feature. We can display the same content with various technologies. Sometimes you might feel that uh, we can implement the logical part of programming language with JavaScript. We don't need a PHP on server side to be run, but JavaScript is exposed to the user because it runs on the client side, the very own browser, and it is vulnerable to various kinds of hacking attacks. While PHP runs on server side, so it is far more secure than writing code on JavaScript. This is a simple scenario where our script, the PHP script, is on resides on server side. It generates a response HTML which is displayed on the client. These are the simple script, how it looks like. Then the first thing to learn is the comment. We can write comment. Comment is something which is used to just memorize or simplify the code to make it readable to other users. For example, if we are developing our PHP script in a team of 4 to 5 members, and I'm working on certain script, and 2 days later, when I'm on holiday or vacation, some of my colleague uh, has to work on the same script. How would he be able to read my code? Just simply placing comments, which is not executed, would be helpful for to him. So we can write comments. Comment are syntax that are not executed when a programming language or code is run. In PHP, we mark comment with double slash sign for single line comment, or a slash asterisk and asterisk slash combination for a multi-line comment, as you can see in this example. Then comes PHP variables. Variables in PHP are declared with dollar symbol. A variable can have an alphabets, small, capital, underscore, or some special characters, not all, in the name, and also numbers. But it must not start with a number. There are certain rules. A variable in PHP is not required to be declared as integer, float, or character. It automatically detects the value and assigns a data type to it based on the value assigned to the variable. As you can see here, these are the two variables x and txt. In txt we stored a string, in x we stored a number. These are the rules. Then comes the PHP concatenation string concatenation operator, that is denoted with a dot symbol. In echo, when we are displaying a string, for example, here we have declared two string in two different variables and trying to print that on the screen, we can use concatenation operator dot to concatenate these two strings. If you have been using with Java, you might place plus symbol in place of this. The output would be simple. Then there comes operators. PHP consists of various kinds of operator that used to operate on different variables. There are 4 types of operators in a programming language or in PHP: arithmetic, assignment, comparison, and logical operators. The first comes arithmetic operators, the mathematical operator, plus, minus, multiplication, division, modulus, which counts the remainder, increment and decrement operator. An increment operator adds one value, adds 1 to the value of the variable, and decrement subtracts 1 from the variable. We can place increment symbol or double plus symbol after a variable or before the variable. Before the variable means increment first, then print the value, and afterwards means print the value, then increment it. It is not very difficult thing. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, we all use these things. Then comes assignment operator, which is used to assign value to certain thing. For example, if we have written x equals to y, then the value of y is assigned to x. We can also write x equals to 5. Then 5 get assigned to the x. The right hand side value get assigned to the left hand side. Then there are shortcut assignment operator like plus equals to. In the second line, as you can see, x plus equals to y. That means x equals to x plus y. It is a shorthand. Similarly, we can write multiplication, division, modulus for the same assignment operator. Then there comes comparison operator, which is used to compare the value of two variables or constants. A double equals to means that compares the values of two. For example, if I have two variables a and b, and a equals to 5, b equals to 8, then it must return false when we use to compare. Then there is equals to, not equals to, that is denoted by two symbols, greater than, smaller than, greater than or equals to, smaller than or equals to. We use these comparison operators basically in the if conditional statements or switch cases. The PHP, then comes logical operators, double and, ampersand symbol used to denote logical and, double pipe symbol to denote logical or exclamation mark for logical not. These are the operators and variables. They have precedence order, and it needs to be followed for proper syntax. In next part, we will explore more on programming and PHP coding. Now moving towards PHP conditional statements. We can perform logical operations or provide based on various conditions, that which conditions when satisfied, certain computation can be performed. The condition statements in PHP can be written with if, else if else, and switch statements. We can perform uh, conditional statement based actions on this. An example could be simple. For example, if we want to display certain string, for example, have a nice day, when the date is Friday, only on Friday we can assign value to variable. We can take input from the user. If the day is Friday, write in this form of a statement, if bracket the value of d equals to Friday, then print have a nice weekend. If it is not, nothing is displayed in this code. Then we can have a condition when we have more than one condition. For example, if there is a Friday, we need to print have a nice weekend. But if it is not a Friday or any other day, we just want to print have a nice day, then we can write in this format, if or else, with the combination of if else. If we have more than two conditions, we can display with a combination of if, else if, else if, else if ladder. We can also display or perform multiple lines of code with each if or else if statement, just by using parentheses. Place the information between these two brackets. Then there comes a switch case, which is an alternative to if else ladder. It takes an input of a format n, for example, uh, a variable. You can assign a value to the variable. For example, input can be a combination of days. It could be Monday, Tuesday, for Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which is denoted with n. Then we can add a case Monday, then print certain value, then case Tuesday, print certain value. If none of the case is cached, then we can have a default value, and in each case we need to add add furthermore statement, that is break. If a condition is satisfied, it gets out of this conditional series of statement with switch case. It is not very typical. Similarly, we can perform various operations with switch case or if else, in a combination of those two. We need to have an exercise over that. Just with some practice, you can have a better grasp over this thing. Then there comes PHP array. Array is a sequence of variable or a list of variable that are stored in a sequential manner. You can imagine it with a cinema hall seating arrangement where the first node could be uh, sequence number 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When data is also stored in a sequential manner, we can term it as an array. It could be of various data types like integer, float, character, or various other things. In PHP, there are three types of arrays: numeric array, associative array, and multidimensional array. Numeric array is an array with numeric index 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. Associative array has an ID associated with a value. It has a key value pair. Then comes a multidimensional array. It is an array containing more than one array, numeric or associative. A numeric array stores each array element with a numeric index. There are two methods to create a numeric array. For example, we can create a variable of type array which have multiple values stored in this thing. We can also assign value to each index. For example, index Volvo is stored at index 1, BMW is stored at index 2, Toyota is stored at index 3, or we can directly assign with them separated by the comma. Similarly, we can retrieve the value from array in the similar manner as we do with other scenario. The associative array contains an key value pair and each ID we can assign with data type. For example, 32 is assigned to Peter, and 32 is stored at with Peter. Peter is the key and 32 is the value. We can do as a numeric array, but here is another symbol equals to and arrow symbol. We can operate on associative array. In next part, we will learn into about multi-dimensional array and more about PHP programming. We will learn get and post method of HTML form and try to develop or application, web application with MySQL and WAM. Keep learning, keep growing. In the previous part, we have learned arrays and variables. In this part, we will continue with multi-dimensional array and then move towards loop. So multi-dimensional array is a combination of two types of array, or a combination of multiple numeric array or multiple associative array. It could be called multi-dimensional array. We can define it in this manner. For examples, families is an array variable which have Griffin, which is also an array. This is a multi-dimensional array of associative arrays. Similarly, we can have multidimensional array of numeric arrays. Then there comes PHP loop. Loop is something when we need to uh, continuously repeatedly perform certain operation again and again on based on given condition. Then we need loops. Loops uh, are preferable to over adding multiple lines of repeatedly typing same code. We can have four types of loop in PHP: while loop, do while, for, and for each. A while loop loops through a block of code when a specific condition is true. If a condition get false, it goes out of the loop. The do while does the same thing, but it checks the condition after the code is executed. A for loop has an initial case, and a condition, given condition, and an increment or decrement function. A for each loop loops through a block of code for each element in an array. This is an example of while loop. As you can see, the variable I has a value 1, while the value of variable I is smaller than or equals to 5. These loops continue. When a loop runs one time, the value of I gets incremented with 1. It moves on increasing. So this loop runs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and the number is this. It will print this output. Then we have do while loop. Do while loop checks the condition afterwards, so it prints the value more than just 1 times more than the while loop. Then there comes for loop, which has an initial value, the condition, and the increment function. The condition is evaluated when it gets true, the loop continues. If it is evaluated to false, the loop ends. This is the scenario for which the for loop. Here the value of a variable I is initialized with 1. Then the condition which is checked is if I is smaller than equals to 5. Then the increment function is I plus plus, increment 1 to the I, and it will print this echo statement 5 times. The for each loop checks the value for each value for a given array. This is a simple syntax. Let x be an array. A variable x is an array of 3 values. When we use for each loop, it will check or display each value. We can have in this way. This is the output. So we have learned the loops, variables, condition statements. Now we can move ahead with simple server-side programming and develop our advanced application. So keep learning, keep growing. So now moving towards PHP functions, we can develop our own user-defined functions or use an existing or predefined functions. So what does a function do? Functions keep the script from being executed when the page loads. When you don't make any function, the entire code runs when the page loads. But if we want to have some functionality like this, when we want to initiate or run our certain part of the code based on certain triggers. For example, when a user click on a mouse a button on certain text area or field on the screen, then only you want any code of function code or a segment of function to be executed. Then we can separate this logic or lines of code in form of a function that is user defined. It will be executed when it is called, or it would not be executed when it is not called at all. You may call a function from anywhere within a page. So this is a syntax of writing a function in PHP. Just write function, function, then separated by space the function name with opening and closing bracket, then place the code for the function in the parenthesis. A function is not of a certain data type in PHP, but in Java or other languages like C, we have a function which is of type int, float, character, or any other thing. It can also return a value. A function name starts with a letter or an underscore, but it could not be started with a number. This is a simple example of a PHP user-defined function, which is called as write name. When we write this thing, write name, and click on this, when we just type write name outside that function, the function is triggered. We have to define a function, then we have to call the function from outside that function. This is the way to write and use that function. Then there comes parameters, which are part of the function. Parameters are like variable. It is actually variable, but its scope is within a function. It does not work outside that function. Values get changed. For example, in this function, write name, $fname is the parameter which has a scope within this function only. It is useful. We can have multiple parameters for a function. A function could be of three types: default function, parameterized function, or simple function. We can have parameters in certain data types like character, int, float, or string. Then comes to predefined PHP functions. Two of them are very important: the get function and post function. You have seen HTML forms everywhere over the internet, from signing up to an account to submitting a form, registration form for any organization. You have seen various of HTML form. So how it works? An HTML form is a combination of HTML plus PHP or server-side language, which helps to submit the information. When you enter a data in HTML form, and there in HTML it is defined this method, this information is sent to PHP script via get method or post method. It would certainly use any of these two. If it has to send data via get method, then you can use the get function in the PHP script that works on certain HTML form to retrieve the values. Get function is used to collect form values. This is a simple script. The above one is HTML script. It says form action. Action in this action tag, action attribute defines the name of the PHP script. Here the welcome.php. The method is get. A simple example of get could be an URL where the value of parameters or variables is written on the URL itself. It exposes the information. It does not hide it, as we would need to store password. And in PHP, we can simply get that value by using $_ capital GET to get the form value of any field name. Fname is the name of the HTML form entity, name, age, any other thing. So we can retrieve that value from an HTML form with PHP script. As we have seen, it displays the value or exposes the value in the URL. So it is not a secured method for password verification or authentication. It also has a limit of 100 characters. We could not pass a string or information larger than this range. So there comes a post method. In post method, we get through these two things. The information is not visible to URL, or and the size of the information transferred via this method, post method, is up to 8 MB size, but we can increase its size with php.ini file in the post max size variable. It is this case of use is similar to get, nothing is different. In post method, which is more useful than get, it maintains data hiding, does not expose the information, it is safe for password transportation. So these were the simple functions, and how you can write a simple PHP code and understand even the most complex PHP code. The key to a programming language: array, variable, operators, conditional statements, loop, and two of the most important functions, post and get. Then we can also write certain cookies, generate session, which would be useful in PHP. So keep learning, keep moving. So welcome back. In this part, we are going to learn SQL commands and what is structured query language or SQL, which is vital for any database operation. So in here we are going to learn DL command, data definition language commands, DML or data manipulation language commands, SQL statements, operators, clauses, and aggregate functions. So let us start with SQL or structured query language. It is a standard language for definition and manipulation of relational databases. It is required when our information is stored in a form of database or in a form of tabular manner or multiple tables, and if we want to perform certain operations on those tables, like retrieval of information, retrieval of specific information, retrieval of all kinds of information, insertion, deletion, modification, or such operations, we need a language that is called structured query language performed on those tables or the combination of tables collectively called as a database. It includes data definition language, statements that specify and modify the database schemas, includes data manipulation language, statements that manipulate database content. Actually, these are not two different languages, but termed as two different languages theoretically. Actually, they are part of a single unified version of the language, that is SQL. SQL is case sensitive, so uppercase and lowercase differs, while SQL data is case sensitive, but SQL commands are not case sensitive. It is based on EF Court's paper. SQL queries include references to tuple variables and attributes of those variables. So these are three DDL, data definition language commands, or simple commands for SQL. The create table, we want to create a table. Alter table, modify a table after it was created. And drop table, remove the table from the database. It is a syntax. things we consider before we create a table. We need to define, for example, if I have information of an school, and that consists of information about students, their subjects, their class, their score, and other things, their roll number. There are certain things that is required. The type of data, for example, in a column of name of a student, the type of data is usually character, because a person's name cannot be 123. It is need to be a character, alphabetic, not even alphanumeric. Your father's name, mobile number or roll number should only be a digit, the whole digit, not the float. So it need to be integer type and other things. There is one more thing, that is primary key. It is used to identify the uniqueness of each row. How we can identify, if suppose in our school there are two students named Andrew Simons, both have the same father's name, live in same locality, are in same section or class. So how you can distinguish between them? Just based on roll number. That is a primary key. A roll number for two students cannot be same. A roll number cannot be repeated. It must be unique. So it is a primary key. And we will extract the information based on this primary key. So this is a syntax: create table, write a create table command, then with a separated by space the name of the table, then with under the brackets, open and close brackets, you need to write a field name or column name and data type related to it. The not null means that it could not be empty. For example, name of a person could not be empty, he must have a name. But there could be certain fields that could be empty. For example, does he have a voter ID card? It he may have or not. So these are SQL attributes. The numeric types could be integer, floating point, formatted. The character string type, the fixed length, varying length, the varchar, the varying character length. So these are the languages. On right hand side you could see and use it on that thing. The bit string type, date and time types, large types. Blob is a very useful thing, the binary data object. It is used to store images or other visual contents. The blob, binary large object. The alter table statements. To add or drop columns on existing table, we need to use this command, the alter table statement. Its syntax looks like this. The alter table, type alter table, and followed by table name. Then if you want to add any attribute, you may write add and then add name of attribute and the data type. Or if you want to drop a column, just simply write drop column and the name of the column. It has two options, the cascade and restrict options. The cascade specifies that any foreign key constraint violations that are caused by dropping the table will cause the corresponding rows of the related table to be deleted. But in restrict mode, restrict option, blocks of deletion of the table of any foreign key constraint violation would be created. The foreign key is the primary key of another table. You should not be confused. The primary key is the unique column that identifies a record, for example, roll number, and foreign key is the primary key of other table. For example, there are two schools and two separate tables for both the schools. Both schools have a roll number, and if you want to access information of other school, other table, that table is referred to the current table as foreign key. So here is a simple example where we want to create a table. Create table food cart. The table name is food cart. We defined three data types: date, food, profit, and date is type of varchar of size 10. That means it can take up to 10 character size of data. the profit is float. Then there is another command, alter table. So when this command is run, a table is created in this way. Then the alter command, alter table, food cart, add sold in. So then the sold column is added of type integer. Then we can drop this column or even drop the table with drop table food cart. You must try this command on SQL. Then there comes DML command, data manipulation language commands. Those includes insert, update and delete. The insert command is used to add new row to a table. The update command is used to modify one or more attributes. The delete command is used to delete one or more rows from a table. The insert command is used to insert the values. The syntax is followed as here. Write insert into the name of the table. The values, the value 1, value 2, and these are the values for each row. You must provide a row wise information. So here it is. For example, if you want to insert a value of 25th February 2008 or similar data, you could add those here. If you want to add multiple columns, you must write the values, the bracket information data multiple times separated by a comma. Similarly, we can perform update information to update the content of the table or modify the table. So here comes the update statement. The update statement is used to modify an information of a corresponding row, the value of certain corresponding to certain column and certain row. For example, in row 1, the value of sold, we want to modify this thing. The value was previously 350 and we want to change it to 349. How we can do so? Using update command, update statement. So this is an example. Just type update and then separated by space the name of the table, here food cart, type set sold equals to 349. Sold is the name of the column which we want to modify. But if we write this line only, the value of sold in all the rows get modified. But we want to modify only the first row. So we need to use another clause, that is where date equals to pass the value of date and write and command uh, and type food equals to pizza. This identifies this unique row. The and can be alternatively used with as or, but the difference between and or is that when we are using and method, the two conditions before and after the and must satisfy at the same time. If any of them get false, it could not perform the operation. And the or statement means any of the either side of the value must be true, but must be satisfied. Similarly, there is a delete statement where we can delete a certain row or certain field. For example, delete from food cart, the name of the table, where food equals to hot dog. It deletes the entire row corresponding to the matching constraints passed by where clause. Then there comes statements, operation and clauses. The SQL statements can be select. The operations could be join, left join, right join, like. The SQL clauses can be order by, group by, and having. We will learn it later. So keep learning, keep moving ahead. Welcome back. Now we are moving towards the select statement. A select statement includes three types of clause: the select, from, and where. These are used to select statement is actually used to retrieve information from a table based on certain constraints or certain requirements. For example, if we want to select an information from a table where student name is Amit, we need to fetch records of all the students whose names are Amit. So how we can do so? Or we have a major constant. We might want to select the list of all the female students from our school or class. We can do so. So this is a syntax. This is a syntax for select. Type select attribute name followed by attribute name, then from, then the table, then the where class, and the condition. If you want to select all the rows from a table, you just simply type select asterisk from table name. Just that is. So you don't need to write everything. But if there might be cases where some rows are repeated and you want to select only distinct rows, so just place a distinct before asterisk symbol. Asterisk means all. It indicates all the attributes of the table to be selected. In place of asterisk, you can directly write the name of the column. The information of that particular column is extracted. For example, this is a table person on left hand side. If we want to extract an information from this table for where age is greater than 30, so we can extract that information. Just type the command select asterisk from table name person where age is greater than 30. So it will select the first row, uh, fourth row, and fifth row as displayed here on the right hand side, the Harry, Helena, and Peter rows. If we want to select weight, only we want to display only one column, the weight column, where age is greater than 30. We can do so by typing this command select weight from person where age is greater than 30. If you want to select only distinct weights, here 80 is repeated 2 times. So you just place the distinct command between weight before weight. So weight here is the name of the column, and the table name is person, and age is the constants where it's 30. The join statement. The join command can be specified in the from clause, which lists the two input relations, and the where clause will list the join condition. Example, these are the two tables. The ID state has the column and the ID division is the column name, and both table consist of 3 rows. If we want to perform certain operation, for example, select state name where division is equals to IT. So how we can select? We can select this operation, perform this operation using join command. As we can see, the one column is common between these two, the ID column. It might be the primary key as it looks like. It is unique. So the primary key of the two tables are same, and we can perform operation based on this. Usually primary key need not to be same all the time, but any column that is same and gives the unique result can be used for performing join operations. So how it can be performed? We can perform the inner join or outer join. For example, just write simple command select asterisk from the table names amp join department, or you can write from amp comma department, and perform operation like on amp.id equals to department.id, where amp id and department id are same. So in the previous one, we knew that 1001 and 1002 are the common IDs in two tables, so it displays the same record. Similarly, you can apply where clause, but remember to perform operation based on amp.id, the name of the table with a dot symbol or period symbol, then the name of the column on which you want to perform the where operation. Similarly, this is an outer join that could be used to perform information. Select asterisk from the table name. You can write left join or just write comma on amp.id equals to department.id. If you are performing left join, that means the record is fetched based on the left table or the left side of the this symbol. It is based on this amp.id, the previous one. As you can see, if for 1000, the amp ID number 1000, there is no corresponding row on the right hand side table, the department table. So it just prints null in place of that thing. If you want to perform right join, you can do so, and the ID number of 1003 will be displayed. So as you can see here, this is the example of right outer join. Similarly, we can perform pattern matching operation or selection with like operation. You can use this command like. So it is a syntax. Select asterisk from the table name amp where ID like percentage 01. The percent symbol and the like statement means that it will print the matching IDs that ends with 01, and anything could be written before 01. For example, 1001, 2001, etc. If we place percentage symbol afterwards, that means it must start with 01, and anything could be followed by that. Similarly, we can use the underscore symbol. Underscore could be used to denote a single character. For example, here it contains one underscore before 01 and one underscore after 01. That means one character is before 01 and one character is after 01. Similarly, you can perform these operations. A like is very useful thing. Then we can use order by clause. Order by clause returns the output of the matching constraints and displays them in an ordered manner. We can do so in ascending order or descending order based on ID or certain information. For example, it is a syntax. Select asterisk from table name emp, order by state. It will order by state, which is in descending order. For example, a state name starting with Z or Z is printed at top, and the V, H, A, C, these are printed uh, afterwards in next lines. Similarly, we can do ascending order with ASC. If we don't write ASC, it automatically generates ascending order or the order in which it is fetched. Then we can use group by clause. This function is used to divide the. Here comes the group by clause, which is a function to divide the tuples into groups and returns an aggregate for each group. For example, in our table food cart, we have 3 rows, one row separated having the columns date, food, and sold. If we want to combine the value and print the sum of the sold amount of pizza or hot dog, how we can do so? We can group them and print the sum of each values based on food. So how we can do so? Just simply write the command select food comma sum is a method for summation of the value passed within the bracket the sold, sum sold as total sold. It means that it will sum the value sold based on the food and print it as total sold from the table food cart. Group by food. Group by food means it will order it based on food. It would not print date. It would only print the food and total sold. So this is a way to write. The addition of pizza sold on 25th February uh, is 349, and plus 70 on 26th February, the sum is 419. It will do the operation. So it is very useful thing, the group by. We can create complex solutions based on that query. Then there is another thing, useful thing, that is called having clause. Having clause is a substitute of where for aggregate functions. Usually it is an aggregate function companion. We can do, suppose if we want to print just a hot dog, uh, just read the query, select food, sum sold as total sold, as we have done previously, from food card, group by food, having sum of sold greater than 450. All the command was as previous in the group by clause, but if we want to print the amount which is greater than 450, we can do so. We can replace having with where. It is an alternative to where clause, but you have an option, and a better use would make you decide what to use in which scenario. Then there comes a few other attributes: the count, sum, max, min, and average. Similarly, as we have seen with the sum, we can pass the attribute or column name, and it will do the operation, the mathematical operation of summation. Similarly, we can count the number of values, number of rows. We can print the maximum value, the minimum, and average using these operations. These are the aggregate functions. There's one point to note here, that when using aggregate functions, null values are not considered except in count asterisk. When you are using count asterisk, that means count all the rows, but in other cases, null value is not considered. So this is a way how you can perform the count, sum, and max operation, the mean and average, minimum and average. So it was that simple. SQL is not very tough thing. It is not a completely programming language, but it is a structured query language. I have taught you various methods, what to use, and a usual practice will help you out. I am providing the slides. You can copy those simply the keywords and write your own query. If you are unable to do so in a command line interface, or you are unable to perform the query based, you don't need to worry. You could directly perform the graphical operation in MySQL or other softwares, whatever you are using for database, like creation of table, deletion of table, and other things. The MySQL supports both things: the installation, the addition of rows, creation of tables, and every operations in the both graphical and as well as command line interface. The SQL command is common to multiple databases, from Oracle to MySQL to Postgres. All the relational databases supports SQL as a default query language, and multiple non-relational databases also support the SQL, so it is very powerful. In next video, I will be providing you the installation of WAMP server, which is very useful for beginner as well as advanced developers, because you are free from headache of installing PHP, MySQL separately, and every time you need to connect things. Just go through the site, install it, and keep your working site on. So keep loading, keep growing. So now we are in this part, we are going to install WAMP server. You could download WAMP server from wampserver.com on the website, where it is available free of cost. It consists of a Windows, Apache, a PHP engine, and MySQL. It does not contain actually Windows, but it is designed for Windows. It consists of Apache web server, MySQL the database, and PHP engine to uh, run PHP scripts. It is a combination of all. You don't need to install each of them separately. So you simply select your language, click next, and choose your options and install it as follows. Choose the configuration, either 64-bit or 32-bit, whatever your PC is likely to have, and just move to install section. So now let us test a custom script that is index.php. Write it with Notepad, and in this script we are going to write a simple PHP script for the demonstration whether it WAMP is properly installed or not. Just write open uh, open arrow sign question mark PHP and info. Now open your browser, type in the IP of localhost. You can write a localhost or type in IP 127.0.0.1 and slash the given script. For example, hello. It automatically runs that. So friends, now I am going to create a login page with PHP and MySQL. We have learned PHP and MySQL during this session, and we have to implement a simple login form where a user can input a value, name, and password. It will authenticate with the database. If the matching username and password exist, it will return a login statement or redirect to other page,
otherwise return an error message. So this is an HTML page for this document or for login form, and here comes the CSS files. It is not of our interest here. I provided the source code of all this stuff, the CSS and HTML, and we are interested in PHP. So if you need any suggestion regarding this HTML form, it is a simple form where a method should be post. We are going to write it here. Just type method equals to post. So there are two methods as we have learned, the get method and post method. So we are here using post method. The action tag is used to direct to a PHP script where the action is located. If you are writing hash symbol, it returns to the same page. If we are writing the PHP script in this HTML, this very HTML page, we need to write hash, otherwise the name of the external PHP file. You can implement in both the manners. Here I'm just writing above the HTML file. So this is, just write question mark, arrow bracket opening, question mark PHP, and question mark arrow bracket close. Between those syntax comes the PHP code. Just pass the host name. So here our host name is localhost. The $host means it is a variable. Store the local host in the variable name host. Then the username, root, and password, nothing. This is the default. You can change it anytime you wish. And the database name, you can write any name. Here I am defining the demo. This would be the database name. So just move to MySQL, PHP MyAdmin for MySQL and create a new database. Just write demo as we have written in PHP script. Name of the table, for example login form, tab and a number of columns. For example, I need 3 columns, one for ID, one for name, and one for password. Just hit the go button. It will create a table with 3 columns. So these are the columns. Just write the name ID, a user, password, and type the data type. We need to, the username should be varchar, character, the password could be varchar, the length 50 character length, and the ID must be int. We need to define ID as a primary key. So hit the check button and select the primary in the ID section. Hit the save button. So it is being saved. 3 columns are being created of varying size where ID is the primary key. The key symbol, the lock key. Then we can insert any row value. For example, just insert a username admin and the password the same as admin. Hit the go button. This is the generated SQL query. Hit the go and you will see these are calculated. There is one row, the name user and password admin. The username admin and password is admin. We can change it anytime from here by logging into your database or using direct with PHP script. This script just identifies, authenticates. So we need a MySQL connection. Just write this function MySQL underscore connect. Pass the 3 variables name, the host name, username, and password. $host, $user, $password, separated by comma. Then write a new variable function. So this is function, not variable. MySQL select DB, where we pass the database name. Then write a if statement and write is set ISSET. Here, just pass the name of the field of the username, parenthesis, dollar password. Then provide the password field. Use uname is equals to dollar underscore post username. So this is a method to fetch the username via post method. You need to write this thing dollar underscore post. The username and password is fetched. The is set means if there is an username typed. When it is typed, it will fetch. If it is not typed, it will not fetch. A simple thing. Then make another variable for running an SQL query. Just name it SQL, $SQL, and pass the query you desire here. For example, if you want to select the rows, select asterisk from login. The table name is login form. Select asterisk from login form where user is equals to admin and double quotes. We want to write admin, but actually there could be multiple users, so we need to pass this variable name. The method syntax for passing this name, just write user equals to single quotes, double quotes, then dot or period, then the name of the variable where username is fetched, and for verification, and also password. We are using the AND statement here because we want both conditions to be true. The name of the username and the corresponding password must be true at the same time simultaneously. If you want any of them to be correct, just place OR and then write limit 1. Then write another for variable $result, and here the fetched query is passed. The MySQL query method is used or function is used, and the $SQL variable is passed. Then write if statement, and in this if statement write from method name, function name, MySQL num rows, and pass the variable result. If it is equals to 1, that means if on running our query number of rows is 1, that means true, or any username or password is matched or condition is true, then perform the line of codes written in if statement here. So what we want to run, mm, so it is equals to 1. Just type echo. Echo is used to print display a message on the screen. We can redirect to another page, but for instance just write echo you have successfully logged in. That means when a person is logged in, we want to print this message, and type exit when it is closed, the PHP script is closed. Otherwise, if nothing username or password is matched corresponding to database, or the value is not 1 of the result, then what we want to write, you have entered incorrect password, exit. So similarly, we can create multiple users and multiple passwords. Just add similar thing. Just reload the page. It is showing an error. Um, we have done some mistake. So just write dollar underscore post method in the is set statement before the username to pass via post method. It should work now. So this page is loading. Just type a username, for example admin in our case, and type the same password, admin. Hit the login button. So you have entered incorrect password. The password was not correct. I was writing the incorrect message it is showing. Just now write the correct password for admin. You have successfully logged in. So it works. Here we have learned how to create a login page. Keep learning, keep moving ahead. So friends, we have developed a login page, and now we are going to develop an application, PHP application where we would extract information. This is the information in a table. These are the rows and corresponding columns, and we want to extract this data using a PHP script and display it on a tabular format. So it consists of ID, name, email. So these columns we would like to extract. So open your text editor where you could write a script. Now I must create a file. Name it connection.php. Then write a PHP code. Opening angular bracket, arrow bracket, question mark, PHP. Then MySQL connect. Then pass three parameters: host name, localhost, username, root, and password. Nothing. You can pass your own host name, username, and password. Then write MySQL select DB. Then our database name was demo, so I'm writing demo. Then create another PHP script, index.php. The previous one script was for connection, for establishing connection with a database. To connect a PHP script with a database, any PHP script which is calling the connection.php script. So with index.php, we are calling that connection.php script. So in index.php, just write same PHP command. Then now write include once the connection.php, include this connection.php file. Then pass the query, SQL query, using a variable as we have done previously. Select asterisk from a student to select all the rows from a student. Now pass create another variable, name it result, and pass MySQL query, that query variable. So close that PHP script and now write a HTML page for displaying the tabular format. Just write HTML title. You can provide any title, heading, fetch data from database. Then write a body of this text. In body section we are going to place this table, everything we are going to fetch. Then provide the table tag. Then write tr and th for table row and table heading. Then write the heading of the table, student record, as the record are for students. Then write another table heading, the ID name, email, and country of the student. So this is the value. We need to call this script and check it out. So this is how it's being displayed here right now. So we want it to be displayed in a tabular format. So it is not containing any boundary. If we want to display any boundary or margin line, we can write align for first align this table to center. Then we can apply border of 1 pixel, for example. The style could be width uh, 300 pixel, line height 330 pixel. Then refresh it. It is appearing this way, but we want it to span over all the columns, the student record name. So we can make it using span for all the column names because it is the title. Just in the type in the table heading column, call span because we want to span along column. So this is so any value. The number of columns here is 4. Then write align. So it is being aligned in center. Just modify the value. We want 600 pixel. You can change any value. You can increase or decrease the size. Doesn't matter. But now we want to add a PHP script here for fetching the logic, for writing the logic to fetch table data. Write PHP. This is actually inline PHP. We can write a while, use a while loop uh, for fetching, right? Variable name to run the function mysql fetch associate, pass the result of the query above the result variable. It will fetch all the rows, all the data corresponding to each column of the table. Then just close this PHP tag and now write table row and table column, tr and td. And here everything is being passed. Now again write in PHP because we want to display information using PHP. We cannot directly use HTML. It is an integrated solution. The PHP and HTML works this way. Just pass that value PHP echo to display variable dollar row. The row name is ID. Rows dot in the bracket, the square bracket. Copy that thing 4 times for each thing, each column. Row ID, name, email, and country. So similarly we can do this thing. Just again write a PHP script just for closing bracket, nothing more than that. So now we shall reload this page to, so it is showing an expected error here. I forget the semicolon. and just press semicolon after each PHP command. We need to write a PHP semicolon after, and this is dollar. Dollar symbol is not used in PHP right now. So it must work. It is working, but it is not displaying properly in the syntax. So there might be some error in displaying the information. So here not the period symbol, it is an array. Yes, it is displaying the information of 4 students with corresponding email, a country name and ID as it was here. So our PHP script run, it is very useful. The UI is not an issue here. You can use design your UI user interface in very proper good manner using Bootstrap and certain other things. Keep learning, keep moving ahead.